Namaskar. Am I audible? Oh, thank you. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. At first, I would like to thank Dr. Mustafa Latif Emek, the chairman of ICSAD Institute, for giving me the opportunity to speak on this 11th International Conference on Scientific Research. Today is 17th December 2022. And my topic is India's dream of being a superpower by 2047, prospects and challenges ahead. It is a study. Uh, Let me begin my um, topic. Introduction. India is a beautiful country with 1.42 billion strong population. It is the world's highest populated country. It is also the fifth largest economy and the world's fastest growing economy. India is the abode of world's most youngest people. It is reported that about 52% people uh, are living under the age of 30. India is also the seventh largest country in terms of geographical area and it holds 2% of world's landmass. Total geographical area of India is 3,288 million square kilometers. 3.288 million square kilometers. It has a long coastline of over 7,500 kilometers. India is a diverse country where over 22 major languages and 415 dialects are spoken. With the highest mountain range in the world, the Himalayas to its north, the Thor Desert to its west, the Gangetic Delta to its east, and the Deccan Plateau in the south. The country is home to vast agroecological diversity. India is the world's largest producer of milk, pulses, and jute, and ranks as the second largest producer, leading producers of spices, fish, poultry, livestock, and plantation crops. India is a land of spirituality. India is a land of scientists, researchers, philosophers, and saints. Indian agriculture is robust now. India, a young country, because it got independence in 1947. But India's actual progress and development started from the 1990s and in the last one decade under the steward leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and under this under his leadership India uh, has grown tremendously in economy, agriculture, industry, science and technology, research and development, digitization and aviation, service sector, space sector, and in spiritual sector, India has become a global leader. India's progress is astounding. This has created a sensation among the people living in India. Not only that, Indians living in other countries also have started to feel pride about their motherland. Considering all these issues in mind, a research study was undertaken in 2019. The aims and objectives of the study are as follows. I would like to tell you about the aims and objectives of the study. Uh, I had total 8 aims and objectives um, for this study. The main aims and objectives of the studies are number one, to study Indian history, politics, and culture from ancient to modern through the medieval. Number two, to highlight India's richness in spirituality, administration, trade, and commerce in ancient India and medieval India. Number three, to indicate India's progress in agriculture, health, science and technology, research and development, and achievements in contemporary India, particularly in the last one decade. Number four, to explore whether India can be called a Vishwaguru, that is, a world's spiritual leader. Number five, to examine India's challenges ahead and find out the ways about how these challenges can be removed. Number 6, to prepare a roadmap for achieving a $25 trillion economy by 2047. Number 7, to provide a one stop solution for all the four problems of people, such as people's physical problem, mental problem, spiritual problem, and economic problems. Lastly, the number 8 is to demonstrate India's pride and progress in the world. And for this study, I had formulated some hypotheses also. These are: number one, the more ignorance, the more unhappiness and ill health of the people. Number two, education and skills are closely related to higher income. Number three, the moral and discipline of the head of a state or a country determine the moral and discipline of its people. Number four, the progressive outlook, ambition, and aspiration of leadership, and the upholding of a country's culture, spirituality, scientific and technological achievements play an instrumental role in achieving the sustainable development of a country. Number 5, spirituality is the cornerstone of contemporary India's progress and development. For the purpose of this study, I have uh, reviewed an extensive volume of literature. There were a total 737 books, reports, journals, and articles, but it is very difficult here to even name of a fraction of them. That's why I am not mentioning. But my inspiration, actually, I would like to tell here that my inspiration was the book of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. At first, his autobiography, Wings of Fire, he wrote that book in 1999. And further, he wrote another book with Arun Tiwari. Now, that book was written with Arun Tiwari. And another book was very important. That was India 2020, a vision for the new millennium. It was written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam with Y.S. Rajan. That book was published in 1998. So these are the two books that I would like to mention particularly, because these are the two books that have inspired me to conduct this study. And after reviewing a lot of literature, I have found that those literature, or most of the books, are written on a particular topic. They are not talking about sustainable development or holistic development of India, how India can become a superpower, how India can become a $25 trillion economy was not discussed by any of them. That is why I thought that there is a vast gap, and with a view to fill up the gap, I had undertaken this research study. And my first aim was to what is the dream actually? The dream is to attain a $25 trillion economy. This is really a big dream, because India is now having only $3.75 trillion economy. And from here, if we want to achieve $25 trillion economy, it is really a very big target, and it's really many of the people, many of the policymakers are thinking that it is impossible. But in this study, I have shown how we can achieve, how we can attain the goal, because India is a young country. It is a country of young people, where most of the people are young. Then the country can definitely see a dream, and the dream is attainable. The dream is achievable. I have shown that in my book. But before telling all those things, I would like to say there are some constraints standing in the way of achieving our goal or the target. At first, I would like to say that, see, before challenges, let me say about some challenges, and about after that I will say the remedies, and then conclusion, right? So I find that modern and scientific education system is the backbone of a country. Without scientific and modern and updated education system, no country can develop, because that is the policy through which one can through which people through which students get educated, students become empowered, and students get modernized education on the and they will learn about patriotism, they will learn about entrepreneurship, they will learn about respect, they will learn about innovation. All these things can be taught only through good education system. And India did not have good education system, though after 3 decades we have attained, we have got national education policy 2020, that is the cornerstone, but still all the states have not yet been accepted and not yet been implemented this policy in toto as has been written in the national education policy. So it is a great challenge, or it is a great hindrance for India to attain this target. I expect that all the state governments will follow the education policy as it has been written in the education policy, right? 2020. So now I would say the second thing is that there is a lack of role model in society. You know, we become great. We see good dreams only when we see a good people around us, when we see a good human being, a very hard working, a very honest, a very sincere, a very patriotic Indian around us. But this is really very challenging, because in one of my research, when I was doing a survey earlier, I asked at least 1,000 young students from the age of 70 to 25, but I found that none of them said that they have found a role model around them. So this is a great challenge, right? character Character is very important. So character of people should be sorry should be grown from childhood, and they learn children learn by seeing their parents, by seeing their uncles, by seeing their teachers. So we the teachers, we the guardians will have to be role model before our students, right? Next, sorry, valueless education. Indian education did not teach value based education, where Shraddha or respect will be the main ingredient. Swami Vivekananda also told about that. He told that what we want is the Shraddha. Unfortunately, it has nearly vanished from India, and this is why we are in our present shabby state. What makes the difference between a man and a man is the difference in this Shraddha and nothing else. What makes one man great and another weak and low is Shraddha. Vivekananda wrote in one of the books published in 2013, maybe from Ramakrishna Mission, right? Another thing is that believing in fate, many Indians believe in fate. Instead of believing in fate, one should believe in his or her skill. One should believe in her potency, or potentiality, or education. So skill, instead of believing in fate, one should believe in skill. Then next, finding faults with others. Instead of finding faults with others, we should see that what powers do you have, what potentiality do you have, what skills do you have, right? So we should not see the fault of others, rather we should rectify ourselves, we should develop our inner skills, so that we can think about good of our country, of our person, of our family, of our society. Then only our India will be a great, and that these aim of $25 trillion can be achieved, right? And people often do not call spade a spade. This is the thing everywhere in the world. Here is also. So next, I would say that too much engagement of personal happiness and comfort. Many young people, people I have seen here in India are too much engaged in personal happiness and comfort. Last 2 minutes. Okay, and the lack of patriotism, another problem. So this patriotism is a very important thing that should be given importance, and deficit of knowledge and fundamental duties. Every Indian has fundamental duties, and many of them do not know they should do. and the scarcity of quality politicians. There are really there is scarcity and quality of politicians, those who can do good work for the people, for the society, and corruption is another problem, and all those things should be taken care of. I think that many good people, many more good people will come in parliament and legislative assemblies, and they will formulate policies for people. And criminal politicians must not overshadow Indian parliament legislative assemblies. And then I would say that security threats are there, mainly from our borders. India's GDP and per capita income is also very low. It should be given importance. Per capita income is only $2,600, whereas total USA's per capita income is too much. That is a $80,03,000. So other constraints are there. I am not talking about constraints now. I would say that recommendations, and we will have to do. I have to. We have to set a target. We have to set a target of earning more, and what we should earn more, and what should be our maximum, our limit. Limit means what should be our minimum earning. By 2047, every Indian will have to earn 27 2 lakh 60,000 rupees in a month. I mean, 30 lakh rupees per year, right? And we have to develop, and then recommendations, we have to develop our entrepreneurship skills, and it should be started from schools. And I would say that students must study need-based subjects, what are the needed. So aviation, technology management, STEM, science management, science, technology, engineering, those subjects should be taught more. Women's empowerment is sine qua non, because without the participation of 50% population, India cannot achieve this goal. India women's participation is very much necessary. So when the people of all categories, all castes, all creeds, all sections of the society will participate in the development work, then only India will achieve this $25 trillion economy. Government must take a strategic goal, and then I would like to say that government must expedite international trade and commerce. India, instead of being a borrower or importer, in India should be a supplier. That is the mantra. And India must attract more foreign direct investment, because it will help India's GDP growth. And then I would like to say more rural courts to be set up, because lots of millions of cases are lying pending in Supreme Court and in other courts. So that's why I would say that more rural courts to be set up to settle the cases, court cases. Local governments need to be need to play the role of real governments, I think, because rural government, India lives in villages, nearly 6.5 lakh villages are there in India. That is why. And then I would say mitigate the menace of climate change. Climate change is another issue that should be, every Indian should be conscious about climate change, about environment pollution. We must not pollute our environment. We must not use plastics, right? And then pollution control is indispensable. I would say a green growth strategy is inevitable, and every student and adult Indian should set a big target and work hard to achieve it. I say that every Indian student who was studying in graduation or masters or PhD level or above must read 18 hours, 16 to 18 hours a day. And the workers who are working here in India must work not only for 8 hours, not only 10 hours. I would say 12 hours minimum they should work for the students, for the people, for the organization they work. Okay. Okay, thank you. With this, I would like to conclude. But I say that if you work hard, if you are sincere, if you are patriotic, then India's dream of a $25 trillion will not be a hard to achieve. I am very much sure that India will be able to achieve this $25 trillion economy when the all people, at least 1 billion people will work sincerely, we work actively, and with a feeling of patriotism. I hope that all of you will come together to help India become great, to achieve India's $25 trillion economy. With this, I would like to conclude here. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, if anyone has any question, you can ask me, please. I request all of the from the audience to ask questions, please. I shall be happy to answer. Yeah, I think. Okay, okay. Once again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, thank you.